Hey guys, my name is Chimangazo and welcome to my channel. If you are watching the channel for the first time, please kindly consider subscribing for all things relatable, easy and affordable homemaking content. And if you have recently joined the family, welcome. How about you leave me a hello on the comments section so that I can personally welcome you over there. Alright, now as you can tell by the title of today's video, we are going to have a slightly different video than we usually do, and that is to say it's just going to be a little bit more chatty than the visuals that we would normally have on a weekly basis, and I hope that you guys don't mind. Right, so anyway, you guys know by now, I recently bought a property which I think it's safe to say the previous owner or tenants sort of neglected it a bit. That is one. Secondly, it is not really my dream what shall I say, my dream home. However, there is a reason why I bought the property. First of all, I have overgrown the space that I am currently staying in, and for a while now, I think since last year, have been shopping around for property that I really like, something that I could, I think, settle for a while, depending of course on how our life unfolds and whatnot. But I really have been looking for a place that I could call a home for quite some time. And can I just tell you, there have been specific properties that I've been really interested in, and my heart really has just been yearning, and I just couldn't wait to get one of those. But all things considered, while the bond was going to be one thing, having to take into consideration the amount of money I'd need to upkeep the place, maintain, and just ensure that living in such a property would be worth its while. I was really looking at a lot of money. So I thought along the process, this was sometime last year, that while there is a property or a kind of property that I really am looking for to sort of settle in, I know that going for that kind of property would be something that really gets to stretch me financially, and I would need to be open and willing to sacrifice a few of things that I sort of, like doing with, in as far as expenditures are concerned, or monthly expenditures are concerned. So I thought, perhaps it would not be a bad idea to sort of get second best, so to say. And I shopped for a while, and this was still last year. I shopped for a while, and I think around August last year, I thought I found what would be second best. Really loved the property. It was a beautiful double-story property, a lovely garden, just beautiful. It had all the space and all the resources I thought I would want for like a second best property. So I went ahead and did the paperwork and put in an offer to purchase, and the seller the seller took in my offer to purchase. And just while I was waiting, and I think they played me because I made an offer. It may have been, I think, about 40,000 less than their asking price. And I assume that there may have been an interested party that obviously was willing to pay their asking price or possibly even higher. And while I was waiting for the seller to then accept and sign the documents, they kept saying to me, they were on holiday, and then the one time they said no, their child was sick, and then they were gonna attend to it when they get back. And I really didn't think much of it. I thought, what, we really had a great understanding. They were really actually also very happy to have me have the property, and you guys, people can be so But anyway, a couple of days later into the week, they told me that they had decided to give the property to another buyer. I didn't really beat myself over it, although I think for like a few days I just thought, you know what, I loved the property. Perhaps I should have just, went ahead and give them the asking price. But I think I also know in my life that when something is meant for you, even though it's a very hard concept to believe, when something is meant for you, will be for you, and no one will just come take it. And even if it does get taken, it will eventually find its way back to you. That's what I believe. So I tried to get over that as quickly as possible. Right. And that was August. So I just decided to say, you know what, I was going to park the idea of finding a second best property and just, do what I need to do to get to buy something that I really, really, really love. Right. And I forgot about that and was not even into the market looking. But now in the estate that I currently stay in, and there's a number of complexes in the estate, just one day I get this notification, because I think that's the one thing that I may have forgotten to disable the notifications up from, I think, Property 24 and private property. So I get an email pop into my inbox about a property in the estate that I currently stay in, although it's not the same complex. So I decide to sort of browse through, and I thought, it's a 3-bed, it's a 2-bathroom, although it's not like 2 full bathrooms. There's a double garage, it's a simplex. I think this would make like a nice, short-term kind of thing, because I really have outgrown the space. But also, I immediately picked up a few things that I thought, if I am clever about it, I would be able to negotiate the asking price to significantly lower. And it was from that perspective that I then decided to approach and pursue that property. My other thinking was that I could potentially make it an investment property in a number of ways, which maybe we could explain in this video or the next if you guys are interested in that kind of content. Anyway, I went ahead to view the property, and this was, I think, it may have been the last week of February, if not the first week of March this year. Right, luckily my brother was just also around on that day, so I invited him to come with me to go view the property, and we went to view the property. And just like I had thought, the property is in a good estate, the security is great, I love the features that we have in the estate, just absolutely comfortable living. However, the owner or the tenants they had I feel to a large extent neglected the property. And I thought I was going to use that to my advantage, which I did. Because from the asking price, I managed to negotiate to buy the property, listing all the things that were, I think, either wear and tear or just pure neglect, as I will just show you guys. For the most part of the property, I think you can live in it, but I felt that I needed to do a bit of work in order to make it a comfortable stay. And I think in order to make it something close to what would have been my dream home. And what I hope to achieve with this exercise is that in a year or two, I hope to sell the property at a significantly higher price than I got it, because of all the renovation work I intend to do. And so I think today's video makes an opening to a series of videos which I will be doing in the next couple of weeks, taking you into the journey of renovating this new purchase that I will be making it my home for the next year or so. And if you guys have any questions in terms of the renovation, or if you want to know more about property. Oh, speaking of property, I have a very, very informative blog with a lot of property advice, and I found that blog to be very, very helpful in terms of knowing how to negotiate, how, like, everything property, even though it's not just specifically focused on property news. You find otherwise just very informative things that you will use. I think all of us will need to know or use at some point in our life. So do go ahead and visit my blog at www.beinformed.co.za. Right. Now, if I may just indulge you a bit on how I got to come to make this compromise. Right. Now, in my dream home, I had a specific budget set to say this is what I would want to spend in terms of paying the bond, the upkeep of the property, utilities, and such things. And I think, as I explained earlier, I thought if I had gone with something that I really, really wanted at this time, it would really be stretching me financially. And so I thought it would not be a bad idea to park that dream just where it is for now, up until, life takes us where it needs to take us. So in order then to pursue this process in the manner I have explained to you, I got myself pre-qualified with a home mortgage broker. And for this exercise, I specifically used Uber Home Loans. Now, a pre-qualification certificate is a process whereby you use a home mortgage broker or home loan broker. Yeah, I think that's what they're called. Sorry about that. So you use their services and they're completely free. You don't get to pay anything. I think that their deals are with the bank. So anyway, with the pre-qualification process, for those of you who may not know, you submit all your financial information. You go through a trail of paperwork where they sort of assess you, your affordability, your expenditure, your incomes, the works, right? And after that process, they give you a certificate which sort of helps you to know that if you want to go shopping for a house or a property, what price ranges should you be looking at? What are you most likely to get approved of when you do eventually need to fill in all the paperwork to submit to the banks or various banks? I think I did explain that I used Uber Home Loans. They were very, very, very fantastic. If you happen to be also like a first-time home buyer, I think I would strongly suggest and advise that you do consider using home loan broker. They are very knowledgeable, and I feel that you are most likely to get more help from a home loan broker as opposed to your private banker, because your private banker or a bank consultant will only give you information. Granted, it could be helpful, but they only give you information in the best interest of the organizations that employ them. So if you have a private banker from X bank, you cannot expect that they will give you information that may begin to highlight or inform you of certain information from PEPs, Bank B, C, and Bank D, E. So my consultant that I use, Riette, I think I'll put her name over here, and if you guys want her cell phone number, please let me know, or rather let me know on my Instagram, Chimangaza at Home, and I'll be happy to sort of facilitate that process for you. Very, very helpful, very knowledgeable, very efficient, you guys. Extremely efficient. I must mention that I was really, really happy with their service. Right. Now, as I was explaining, I got myself a pre-qualified, and I think that the pre-qualification certificates really gets to help you with in a number of ways rather. One is that when you are negotiating with a seller, they begin to take you seriously because you have sort of been vetted and sort of have some sort of an assurance to say that banks would be willing to give you X amount of money. So I think that it immediately makes you look like a serious buyer in the property market, because you also just remember, you know, when I was telling you that last year in August I had put in an offer, but I didn't have a pre-qualification certificate. You know, sometimes when you have something like that, a seller knows that they will not have to worry whether you will get financing and whatnot and whatnot and whatnot. But also for me, I also just wanted to use it an exercise to try and limit my spend, because I thought, you know what, if I'm not going to get a property I like, then it does not really matter too much what I get, because in any case it's not really a property I like. But also I wanted to make sure that I could afford then the bond and still have adequate money in my budget to do the kind of renovations I would really like to do into the property. So just now, for argument's sake, my pre-qualification came back to say that, you know, my affordability would be, for instance, 10 rands. And I thought that while they say that I would afford a property to the value of 10 rand, I really just want to try and go ahead and get property at about 5 rand. And that was my approach. And because this specific property had a lot of wear and tears and also a bit of neglect, as I would show you now, I got to negotiate to buy it for significantly less. And I'm just going to show you how the property looks right now, although I do not want to show you the entire place because there will be videos for that, and I just also want to try and make it like really interesting for you guys in the next coming videos, when we do need to start getting talking about quotations and the kind of work that I can afford. Look, first of all, I've got a lot of things that I really love to do, but I think at the end of the day it's going to depend on what like the primary things are going to cost me and what I would then need to compromise from the list of things that I'd ideally want to do. Right now, I think let us just park this video here, but I'd really love for you guys to leave me a lot of questions to say that from this process, what other things would you like me to address? What do you want me to talk about? I will obviously be sharing a lot of contact details of all the service providers I may be using. I don't really know how that process is going to go, because by the time this video is out, I will be busy with service providers trying to negotiate codes, and they're shopping around for a number of codes before I employ a contractor to get the work going. So by next week I should be hopefully able to tell you the scope of work that I will be doing, and just also show you a bit of progress, if any at all. I don't think that there will be much progress, but once again, if you guys leave me a good number of questions on the comment section below, I hope that we get to speak about that. And you are also welcome to DM me on my Instagram page, Chimangadzao at Home, where I can share with you contact details of specifically the agent I dealt with at Uber Home Loans. I hope that this new video series is going to be an interesting one for you as much as it is going to be for me. Right now, let me give you just a glimpse of how the property looks like. Eventually, when we do a full house tour, I will show you how the whole place looked in detail, so that we can then put it into juxtaposition with the work that would be done at that point. I hope that you have enjoyed this chatty video. Please leave me comments on the comments section below. See you next week.
Make it up as we go.
as you guys can tell, you can live in the space. Inside, the space really just has reasonable, I think, terrain and wear. Otherwise, a perfect place to live in. However, I am interested in just giving the space a bit of a facelift. I will shortly show you what really got me interested. If you can look outside, that's what really got me interested in this property, and I'll show you that just now. Now, if you take a look outside from this window, you'll see that outside it's quite a mess. This is a mess, and to be quite honest with you guys, it is this mess that really attracted me to this property. The door, as you can tell over here, of the garage is a total mess, but the entire space, I thought to myself, has such a great potential to make a lovely outdoor area. And that is what I'm going to try to attempt to do with this facelift. So I'm just going to give you a bit of a walk around so that you can have an idea of what kind of a mess and neglect the property is in right now. So yeah guys, this is the neglect that I now have to deal with. They have also left this trampoline over here, which I'm going to be discarding before we start working next week. But I don't know if you guys can realize just what great potential this area has. Of course, it's going to take a lot of work, and I think that's what's going to make this project specifically interesting. Now, this is it for my neglected property purchase. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video and are looking forward to the series ahead.